Hey guys, I'm Zesty. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made this shoe rack that I bought at the dollar store into this mini shelf. Last week I actually uploaded another DIY with the same shoe shelf, and I promised you guys that I would give you guys another DIY. So here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel. All right guys, let's get to it. For supplies, I used this Dollarama shoe rack that I bought for $4. I used this quick setting joint compound, some Rust-Oleum hammered copper spray paint, 2 foam boards that I bought from the dollar store, and some dollar store contact paper. I started out by assembling the shoe rack so that I could measure and cut out the foam slates. I did this by using my ruler and X-Acto knife to get even lines. And you'll notice I also cut out the corners about 1.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters. You're gonna need a total of 5 foam slates. After making sure that they all fit on the shoe rack, I cut out the front pieces to cover the dowels. The thickness is totally up to you. I just traced the width of my ruler because it was easy, and then I used my blade to cut it out. And you're also going to need 5 of these. When I was done that, I set my foam pieces to the side. As you can see here, this looks a little cheap, and I really wanted to give the illusion that this wasn't made out of plastic, so I decided to fill it in with some joint compound before painting it. But first, I had to make sure I covered all of the outer holes with painter's tape so that I wouldn't get any putty in them. The joint compound or wall putty that I got is this quick setting one. And the instructions didn't say how much water to add to it, but I did Google it and found that you can slowly add water to the dry mixture while mixing it until it starts looking like a cake frosting consistency. So that's what I did, and I ended up doing 2 batches of this and actually added more water the second time around and noticed that it didn't make a difference in the end product. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the actual amount you add in as opposed to the frosting consistency that you are looking for. After getting my joint compound ready, I began to fill out the shoe rack all around the sides. I worked quickly so that the joint compound wouldn't set on me, and I also did my best to make it as smooth as possible so that I would have minimal sanding to do after. I let these guys dry for about 1.5 hours before sanding them down. While sanding these, I took off all of the tape covering the holes. And when I was done, I used a damp paper towel to wipe off any dust or loose joint compound. This is optional, but I did apply a coat of Mod Podge to make it look smoother. But if you don't have any, you can skip this step. After that was dry, I spray painted both sides with my Rust-Oleum copper spray paint. I decided to use the hammered version because it adds a little bit more texture and I find that it makes it look more like real metal. After these fully dried, I brought them inside and chose the contact paper I was going to use. I was stuck between a wood and a marble one, but ended up going with the wood one that I bought at the dollar store, and it was just enough to cover all of my foam pieces. So to ensure I had enough, I ended up cutting out all of the pieces individually before applying any of them on. When working with contact paper, you do want to take your time and ensure that you are smoothing it out so that there isn't any bubbles. I also find it really handy to have my scissors and X-Acto knife around to cut and wrap the edges. After applying all of the contact paper, I attached the front pieces to the slates like so. When I was done that, I began to assemble the rack. I started out by attaching the outer dowels, which you'll notice are thicker than the inner dowels. And I also decided to use my glue gun to reinforce them so that my shelf would be nice and sturdy, as this originally is designed to hold the weight of shoes, and I knew I wanted to add some heavier items to it. And this is also optional, but I did use my scrap pieces of contact paper to cover the very edges of the dowels so that you wouldn't see them in case the slates didn't cover them fully. I finished by adding all of my slates to the shelf. And that's it. Here is the final product. I absolutely love the way it turned out. It's such a cute little addition to my guest bedroom, and it's perfect for my fan. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified every time I upload a video. See you soon.